What's up, guys? John Bird III here, and we're back again for another video. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a reel that I thought I've actually reviewed on this channel, and I haven't. I've been getting a lot of comparison comments about this reel, and people wanted to know a little bit more detail on this. So I went back and looked, and apparently I haven't done a review on it. So we're going to talk about a reel that I have not talked about just yet, but we can go ahead and dive into that. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell. That way you can be notified exactly when a new video goes up. Now, let me preface this. This video is going to go up on a different day than my traditional videos normally go up. Because my videos normally go up every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, this week is the Bassmaster Classic, and I'm actually filming this video right before I get ready to leave to go to Dallas, Texas for the Bassmaster Classic. So, if you're in the Dallas area and you're coming to the Classic and you want to meet me, make sure you come by the Blues booth. I'll be in there all weekend, so make sure you come by, chop it up. Let's talk fishing. Let's talk rods, reels. Let's help you find the right rod and reel for the specific technique that you are looking for. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's video. And the reel I haven't talked about is the Team Lose HyperMag spinning reel. Now, this was probably, if I'm not mistaken, this was my very first, let's call it a higher end spinning reel. So give you a little backstory. All the spinning reels I used to use before I got this were the American Hero spinning reels. And they were like, at the time when I bought them, they were 30 bucks, 20 bucks, something like that. And it was the old black and blue ones. And I did not, because I did not like spinning reels. I'll just be honest. And today they play a purpose in my arsenal, but I still go to a baitcaster, old school power fishing. That's just where I feel comfortable fishing and what I feel comfortable using. But this was probably one of my first higher end spinning reels. And so this reel right here was actually pretty nice. In my opinion, it feels very solid. And so it has a magnesium frame, just like the HyperMag bait cast reel, but it feels pretty solid. Comparing it to, like, you're talking about two opposite ends of extreme. You're talking like a $20, $30 reel versus a $179. Yes, $179. You're talking about a $180 reel. So like very polar opposites. And so when I got this reel, I was like, man, this is pretty cool. It's light. It feels good in hand. And when I say light, with spinning reels, you have to understand, like, your average spinning reel is like 7 to 8 ounces. And so with this one right here, this is 7.2, or if you get the bigger one, it's 7.6. So this here is actually pretty light compared to what I was using before, but comparing it to like some of the other reels I use, and we'll get in that a little bit, I'll be able to tell you the difference in that. But I thought it was a big upgrade. The drag felt really good. It just feels like a solid reel platform. And one thing that I loved the most about this reel was the actual knob. So that's the JDM knob that normally comes on the Pro TI, and it comes on the HyperMag and the Elite TIs. And I like the smaller knob on this for whatever odd reason. And I feel like it's maybe only a few people. I know only me and Hackney, for sure, we really enjoy this smaller knob that comes on this reel, and it comes on, like I said, the Pro TI, the Elite, and the HyperMag. Like, I can hold on to this knob better than I can hold on to any other knob that comes on some of the Lose reels, and I don't know why. Because you would think, like, let's see if I have one of the older. Yes, I do. So right here, you see I got the bigger, these are the normal knobs that you had seen before on some of the older reels. And you would think with this being thicker that you could hold on to it more. But for whatever odd reason, my hand slips off of that thicker one than it does this little itty bitty one right here. And it just feels good. I can hold on to it and I feel like I got control. Whereas with that one, my hand is constantly has slipped off of that knob plenty of times. So I don't know why is that. It doesn't make sense in my brain, but it just works. So I like it. So that's probably one of my favorite features here on this reel. Now, again, I reel my spinning reels on the right side. I grew up that way. I know a lot of guys use theirs on the left. I have no hook setting power in my right hand. I'm right hand. That's my dominant hand. But all my hook setting power is in my left. And that's just kind of the way I grew up fishing, that you could change them over and stuff like that. And that's the whole purpose. Like, they're ambidextrous reels. So if you like using your spinning reels on the right side, then do what you do. Because there are a lot of guys, your Jacob Wheelers, I think Hunter Shryout, there's a lot of guys at the touring level that actually use their spinning reels on the right side. So I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. It's whatever is comfortable for you. So there's no right or wrong way on that. And so anyway, but again, this has a pretty good drag. So this reel actually has, the 200 size has 20 pounds of drag, and then the bigger version has 22 pounds of drag. All right, so the gear ratio on this reel is 6.2 to 1. So you're getting about, let's say, 32 to 34 inches of line per turn, per full 360 turn of the handle. And I mean, that's pretty good. Like, and I don't know if I really pay attention to gear ratio and how much line I'm taking in with the spinning reel compared to bait casters. I just don't know why. Because I don't think I've ever thought about it, but with bait casters, I'm like super dialed when it comes to that, because whatever the technique is, I need to know. And so with spinning reels, I don't even look for that. Most importantly for me, what I look for in the spinning reel, I look for weight. Is it light in my hand? Because, you know, normally, of course, you're fishing it down like this. And so does it feel good in my hand? Is it lightweight? How does it feel when I turn the handle? Does it feel gritty? Does it feel super smooth? Is it easy to turn the reel to get it to engage? How does the drag feel when I turn the spool? How does the drag feel? I look into all of that, and I also look into line capacity too, because like with my bait casters, like depending on how much line it holds, and these days I like the smaller bait casters that have less line. So like the Custom Pros, I guess you can consider like a Custom Pro be like a 70 size reel compared to like a Shimano. I think it's the Corrado MGL 70. It's comparative to that. That and the Custom Light, those kind of fall in that little smaller range right there of reels. But I tend to like the smaller reels these days that hold a little bit less line, because in reality, like, you don't really need all that extra line on a reel. Let's just be transparent. But anyway, so with spinning reels, again, I look for the weight. I look for how smooth it is. I turn the spool just to feel how the drag feels. And those are pretty much the main things I look for in the spinning reel. Because in my mind, like I said at the time, when it came to a spinning reel, I didn't spend a lot of money on spinning reels because I wasn't using them. Now, in today's world, I use it a good bit using live scope. I'm not pinging a minnow. I only use live scope now to find like structure, so that I can throw like a drop shot in it. I can throw a shaky head, stuff like that. That is where my live scope pretty much lives. Maybe I throw like a jig in it or something like that. And so with my spinning reels pretty much fit certain techniques, and that's pretty much what I use. Now, the question that I get a lot is, how does this compare to the Custom Light? And for me, I picked up the Custom Light more than I picked up this reel, but going back in the past, this was my go-to spinning reel that I used for shaky heads. I switched to the Custom Light because the Custom Light is lighter than this. The Custom Light is the lightest spinning reel in the entire Lose portfolio. And so, of course, I always like cutting weight as much as I can. Y'all know in all my other videos, I talk about the weight of a bait caster and stuff like that. So I always like to find the lightest reel that I can find to fish with for whatever the application is, because I'm trying to cut down fatigue on your wrist, my arm. I don't want to feel beat down after fishing all day with a heavy setup. So that's kind of why I switched. So when you actually have the comparison between a Custom Light and a HyperMag, which one you should get, I think it's a little bit personal preference. I lean more to the Custom Light, like I said, for weight differences, specifically the Custom Light shallow spool. And I got it tied on over there on the rod, but specifically, I like the shallow spool because it holds less line than your traditional spinning reel, and you don't have to put backing on it. And so you're saving money on buying backing line and all of that. And then it just feels good. The drag is really good, and it's just lightweight in hand. That's why I tend to lean more to the Custom Light over the HyperMag. Now, with that being said, are you getting a bad reel when you get the HyperMag? No, you're actually getting a good reel. It's a good reel. The drag is good. It feels good. And to me, this feels like a tank for whatever reason. Not more so like heavy, but it just feels very solid. And that is what I like about this reel. Just how solid it feels whenever I'm fishing it. Now, I've thrown a drop shot on here. I've actually pinged a minnow with this reel. I've thrown shaky heads with this. I've thrown wacky rigs with this. And so for whatever technique that you really want to try, like this reel will be perfectly fine. And now I also tend to use smaller spinning reels. So I love like your 200 size spinning reels, or I guess you would call them 200, 2500, 20. I like that size reel. That is probably my favorite size because those 300 reels, man, they just feel bulky. I'm just being honest. Like they just feel like they're just freaking massive. And I never liked big spinning reels. Growing up, I actually used a lot of, and this is the exact reel I used, but just for size comparison, I used a lot of 100 size spinning reels. So this is a Custom Light 100. And so when I grew up using the smaller spinning reels, I used to, of course, pond fish and stuff like that. And so fishing for bluegill, crappie, whatever like that, I just always enjoyed using the smaller spinning reels. And I pulled in some giant catfish with these smaller size spinning reels, and it actually was smaller than this. They would more so be considered like a 75. That would probably be the most accurate size that I was used to using. And so when it came to when I started bass fishing, and you had to use spinning reels. I know you could use that, but like the drag rating on those smaller reels is very, very low. I think that one is like, I want to say has 8 pounds of drag. And so that's why I started going to the 200 size, because I'm like, going from a 75 to a 300 is a massive jump. So the 200 size is still definitely bigger than those smaller spinning reels, but it doesn't feel as big, and it's easier to transition to something like that. Because again, like everybody talks about line capacity and like how much line you need. And it's like, if you pulled all your line off your spinning reel, if you pull half the line off your spinning reel, it will still have the original color that is on there and all of that. And you will never ever touch that line. Unless you're doing like some like long lining type deal or whatever like that, then I can see it. But aside from that, like if you're bass fishing, like your long cast might be 90 feet, 100 feet. And I'm only using that as a comparison to live scope. And so I'm like, aside from that, you're skipping a wacky rig under a dock, under a cypress tree. You're pitching a drop shot in front of docks and stuff like that. You might make a longer, further cast like that. But I mean, aside from that, like, you're not going to ever use all the line in a spinner reel. So it's just like, everybody talks about line capacity, line capacity, line capacity. I'm just like, you ain't going to ever use it. Let's just be honest. You will never use all the line on your spinning reel, point blank, period. The only reel, and this is going back to bait cast, that you would probably use up all the line is a Pro SP. But you would have to have a backlash where you cut some line off and then you make a long cast and you will spool it and then you use all the line on there. But that's you're talking 40 yards of 20-pound fluorocarbon. Like, you still won't even use all of that. But if you have a backlash, you will. But so on the spinning reel, like line capacity and all of that, like you're not going to use all that stuff. So I don't know. I think there's this weird misconception in the fishing industry about having so much line on the spinning reel. I'm just like, you don't. Get the Custom Light shallow spool. You'll be perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about spooling that reel with line capacity. But that's just kind of off my tangent with line capacity, because I'm just like, it just don't. I don't know. It just don't click on my brain. So for the guys that want to know specifics about how much line this actually holds, I will go ahead and give you a brief detail on that. So 6 pound, 190 yards, 8 pound, 160 yards, and 10 pound is 145. And that is your, I guess you go ahead and say you like your mono fluorocarbon rating and stuff like that. So that's how much line it holds. And again, it's a great reel. It feels solid. That's the one main thing I love about this reel, the how solid it feels. And like I said, the drag feels good. I mean, when you comparing the Custom Light to this, I would say the Custom Light drag is a little bit better than this. But overall, like, I don't think you have a bad option if you pick the HyperMag over the Custom Light or anything like that. So again, check out the HyperMag spin reel, because this reel right here is actually done me pretty good. I like it. It was, like I said, it was my first upgrade to having a really good spinner reel, because I came from using $20 black and blue American Hero reels, which were pretty good for the money. I'll just be honest, it was actually pretty decent. But my frame of reference is just like, I don't use a whole lot of spinner reels. Now in today, and with my arsenal, I don't use this reel hardly much at all, because of the custom lights, the custom pros, and the new custom as well. So I haven't done a review on this yet. So we will actually be doing a review on this sometime soon. So because of that, I have a couple custom pros, a couple customs, and a couple custom lights. And I don't use a whole lot of spinning techniques. My spinning techniques is drop shot, shaky head, wacky rig. And I'm starting to play around with pinging a minnow. I don't like it. I don't think I ever will like it. I'm just being honest. And I don't see that necessarily being a play in my arsenal. But I'm going to try it so I can talk about it on the channel so I can understand it and understand it from the guy's point of view who actually like doing that. I don't. So, but that's pretty much what my spinning reels go towards. Again, shaky head, wacky rig, drop shot. That's it. That's actually it. That is what, and I don't even throw a Nico rig a whole lot either. But maybe a Nico rig a little bit, but not really a whole lot. But just those main 3 techniques. And so I may have 2 different drop shots with 2 different size weights on there or whatever and stuff like that. So this reel doesn't get a whole lot of play in my arsenal. I was actually using it to ping a minnow just because I don't like to use that technique a whole lot. And then my other reels are pretty much already dedicated to certain techniques because y'all know I like to dial my stuff in. So that's pretty much that. So I don't know how much play this reel is going to get any much more in my arsenal. But again, to answer the question, is this a good reel? Should you buy this reel? If you're looking for a really good reel to add to your arsenal and you have your eye on the HyperMag, do I think you should get it? Yeah, check it out. It's definitely a great reel in hand to use. Like I said, it feels solid, it's smooth, the drag feels good. I think you'll get a good reel. Now, at the end of the day, for me and my arsenal now, I just don't use it as much just simply because, like I already stated before, just I got my stuff pretty much dialed and I'm just kind of trying to focus and use more of some of the newer stuff that is coming to the Lew's lineup. Again, the customs, the custom pros, custom light shallow spools, that stuff and that nature. So I try to stay up on the newest Lew's gear so that as it drops, when people have questions, I see them posting on the Lew's fishing community page on Facebook. I try to answer some of those different questions so that whoever is interested in that particular reel or rod, I try to go ahead and answer that stuff there so that those people can go out and make a conscious decision about what product they want to go ahead and buy. So anyway, that's it for today's video. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you also hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever new videos drop and hit the channel. So I'm JB3. I got to get back to living the dream. And I got to catch a flight to Texas. Come see me at the Bassmaster Classic. I'll catch you later.